All right, we're back with the panel here. Ron Christie and Rick Ungar wants to quickly finish up on healthcare. Yeah.
Before you so rudely interrupt me, the commercial was more important. There was a study, not a study, an advisory out yesterday by Goldman Sachs pointing out that Obamacare has actually turned out to help the economy. $37 billion more into the economy in the first quarter, even more expected in the second quarter, and the projections go through 15 and 16.
And you know what that's from?
That's from the subsidies.
That's from cab fares. People looking for hospitals, looking for doctors, looking for their insurance company.
Right.
That's what it's for.
That's why we have phones.
All right, that was a good line, I think, by the way, if I say so myself. All right, I want everybody to watch this. Watch Donald Sterling.
And I'm apologizing and I'm asking for forgiveness. Am I entitled to one mistake? Am I, after 35 years? I mean, I love my league, I love my partners. Am I entitled to one mistake? It's a terrible mistake, and I'll never do it again.
The vice president of the NBA Players Association, Roger Mason, he said that the players won't accept anyone in the Sterling family owning the Clippers. Not you, not your wife, not your son-in-law, not your daughter. Do you believe that?
I really don't know. The people that are going to decide my fate, I think, are not the media and not the Players Union, but the NBA.
The owners.
Pardon me?
The owners.
The owners. If the owners feel I deserve another chance, then they'll give it to me.
All right, you know, Ron, I don't want to even comment on the interview or him or whatever, but this is what really ticks me off. The head of the Players Association, LeBron James, who doesn't even play for that team. It's unacceptable for his wife, his son, his daughter. Are you kidding me? What are they? You want to throw them in jail? What did they do?
I know, put them in the gulag. I mean,
whiz.
first of all, you know, it's the recovering lawyer in me that looks at this and says, is the NBA actually overstepping their bounds? I mean, the Clippers team is held in a family trust. Are they really going to try to dissolve a family trust? Are you going to really try to penalize the wife who actually owns 50% of this team just because her husband's a jerk? I don't think so. I think the NBA needs to really watch what they're doing here, Steve. It's one thing to punish him and ban him. It's another thing to be dealing with property and assets that are actually held by that family.
Not quite that simple. For one thing, you don't have to dissolve the family trust. You would just be selling an asset out of the family trust. More to the point, the Constitution of the NBA does allow a circumstance where they can force you to sell a team. It's part of the deal you make when you get permission from the A to buy a team. Not like ordinary property where you decide to go buy something. You have to have permission. He's right in what he said, Sterling. If the owners decide, I think by a 3/4 vote, that he has to sell the team, he's got to sell the team.
Right, but do you agree with this attack?
Completely.
On the family?
On the family?
Well, no one's attacking his family.
Why they say you have no right to own it?
Let me finish this thing. They're not attacking the family. They're just saying they don't want them to own it.
Who gives them that right, Rick? I mean, look, if they didn't say anything, they didn't do anything.
The NBA is the only one who has the right.
Beside the point, we agree. Let's say we agree on that.
That is
why shouldn't the daughter or the son be able to own it? Why would LeBron James? Why would the Clippers players? Why would they object? What right do they have to object?
Well, they have the right to say whatever they want, don't they,
but
Mr.
But are they carrying it too far? Is the question.
They're not the voters. What do you care what LeBron James says? Because he's not voting.
But that's not the point.
The
point is the NBA certainly is allowed to punish this guy and penalize him for his behavior, but the family members, no. I think that goes way too far.
All right, let's move on to Michael Sam. Let's watch this.
This was day 3 of the draft and history being made just a short while ago.
Absolutely. All eyes were on Michael Sam today, who came out openly as gay before the NFL Combine, waiting to hear his name called in the NFL Draft. He had that happen just a few moments ago. Here's Michael Sam as he got the call from the St. Louis Rams telling him they were taking him with the 249th pick of this year's NFL Draft. Obviously very emotional. He has been emotional throughout this entire process. Was originally projected as a mid to late round pick, but his stock reportedly fell after a subpar showing at the Combine. The SEC Defensive Player of the Year last year. An amazing moment.
All right, so the kiss. Guys, we got 30 seconds. Rick first. 15 for you, 15 for Ron. Go.
Who cares? It's an emotional moment. I don't care what he did.
Too far, Ron?
Too far. I mean, really, who cares? I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Keep it on the football field, not doing all that
If
stuff.
he kissed his wife, would you say the same thing?
Yeah, but you know what? Kids were watching, and it was unexpected. And the father might not take his 9-year-old to a movie where he knew there were going to be gay, interaction.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Rick said it wasn't
That's
a bad
not a
point.
bad
Well,
point.
in that
I'm
case,
gonna give you that
Thank
one.
you very much. All right, guys, Ron Christie and Rick, thank you both very much. Rick Ungar, and we appreciate you all being here on the Malzberg panel. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with more of the Steve Malzberg Show. But first and foremost, today's America's Moment, you know what it is? It takes a look at John Glenn's journey into space. You're not going to want to miss that. Stay tuned right here on the Steve Malzberg Show.
He had served in 2 wars and flown over 150 combat missions. But in just 60 seconds, this Marine Corps officer would experience a ride like no other. At 9:47 a.m. on the 20th of February, 1962, Lieutenant Colonel John Glenn Jr. of New Concord, Ohio, found himself sitting on top of an Atlas 6 rocket filled with 600,000 pounds of fuel. At liftoff, 360,000 pounds of thrust hurled the massive rocket and its occupant into space and America's history books. John Glenn became the 4th human being to enter space and the first American to orbit the Earth. For his remarkable heroism, President Kennedy awarded Colonel Glenn NASA's Distinguished Service Medal.
As our knowledge of this universe in which we live increases, may God grant us the wisdom and guidance to use it wisely. Thank you, Colonel.
Glenn went on to become the United States Senator from Ohio, and in 1984 ran for the Democratic presidential nomination, but lost to Walter Mondale. You're watching, and
What if I told you that you could reverse diabetes and stop